They told the police it was me, my own family, the people who raised me, the people I called mom and dad for 18 years. They looked me in the eye and said, "She did it." My name is Mira Ellison. I was adopted by the Ellison family when I was 6 years old, after my birth parents passed away in an accident. Robert and Diane Ellison already had 2 biological children. My older brother Marcus, who ran the family's investment firm, and my younger sister Callie, who everyone called the Golden One. I never resented that nickname. Callie was smart, charming, and good at making people feel like the center of the universe. I just didn't realize for a long time that she was also good at making sure someone else took the blame when things went wrong. It was at my father's retirement dinner, in front of 40 guests, that he stood up and made the announcement. "After careful thought," he said, raising his glass, "Callie will be taking over as the next CEO of Ellison Capital." Everyone applauded. I clapped too. I wasn't angry. I'd never wanted to run the firm. I just wanted to keep doing my quiet work in the compliance department. The department nobody paid attention to until something went wrong. 2 weeks later, something went wrong. An internal audit flagged a series of falsified client statements, nearly $2. $3 million in client funds quietly moved through shell accounts over 8 months. Someone had used compliance-level credentials to bury the transactions. My credentials. I was called into a conference room. Marcus sat at the head of the table. Diane wouldn't look at me. Callie sat with her hands folded, eyes red like she'd been crying. "Mira," Marcus said, sliding a folder across the table, "the audit trail leads to your login, every single time." "I didn't do this," I said. Callie spoke up, voice trembling. "I saw her in the server room after hours, more than once. I didn't want to say anything because I thought maybe there was an explanation. There it was. Not an accusation, a performance. I can explain the after-hours access," I said. "I was pulling reports for the September filing. Marcus, you asked me to run those numbers yourself." "I don't remember that," he said, flatly, like a door closing. Diane finally looked up. "Mira, honey, if you just come forward now, before this goes to the board, we can handle it quietly. No one else needs to know." That was the moment I understood. This wasn't an investigation. It was a script, and I was supposed to read my line. I did it. "I'm sorry. Please don't send me to prison." I didn't say it. What my family never understood about me is that compliance work makes you paranoid in the best possible way. 3 years earlier, after noticing small irregularities in Callie's expense reports, I'd quietly started keeping my own backups, time-stamped copies of every system log I touched, stored on a personal drive, completely outside the firm's servers. I hadn't done it because I suspected this exact scheme. I did it because in a family where I was always the first name mentioned when something went missing, I'd learned to protect myself a long time ago. So while they built their case against me in that conference room, I already had 8 months of untouched, original login records that told a very different story. Records showing Callie's badge access to the same server room, at the same hours, using a secondary admin account Marcus had quietly set up for her the year before. So while they built their case against me in that conference room, I already had 8 months of untouched, original login records that told a very different story. Records showing Callie's badge access to the same server room, at the same hours, using a secondary admin account Marcus had quietly set up for her the year before. Just in case, he'd said, "She needs it for the transition." I said nothing that day. I let them believe I had no defense. I went home and I made a phone call. Not to a lawyer, for myself, but to the outside auditor the board had brought in for the annual review. I asked for a meeting, alone. 2 weeks passed. My family assumed my silence meant surrender. Diane started talking about keeping this within the family and not embarrassing your father before retirement. Callie avoided me entirely, which told me everything. Then the board called an emergency session. I sat at the far end of the same conference table where I'd once been accused. This time, the outside auditor stood at the front with a screen behind her. "The independent audit is complete," she said. The falsified statements were routed through a secondary administrative account, created 11 months ago and accessed exclusively by Callie Ellison. Ms. Ellison's public account was used a total of 3 times during the audit. Window. each instance cross-referenced and cleared by badge and biometric entry logs, none of which align with the fraudulent transactions. I watched my father's face change first, then Marcus's. Callie didn't cry this time. She just went very still. There's an additional matter, the auditor continued. Miss Mira Ellison retained independent, time-stamped records of her own system activity for the past 3 years. Records that were instrumental in isolating the actual access pattern. Diane turned to me. You had this whole time? I've had a lot of things this whole time, I said. I just stopped telling you about them. I didn't yell. I didn't demand an apology in front of the board, though I could have. I let the silence in that room do the work I'd spent 2 weeks doing quietly outside of it. Callie was removed from the CEO transition that same day. The board, uncomfortable with how close they'd come to promoting someone under active fraud investigation, asked me, the one person who had never wanted the job, to step in as interim compliance director with direct oversight of the transition. My father never apologized in so many words. What he did do, a month later, was sign over my birth parents' original trust. The one Callie had once joked wasn't really mine to worry about. Fully into my name, without me asking. Didn't take everything back by fighting for it in that first conference room. I took it back by refusing to perform the role they'd already written for me, and quietly building a version of the truth they couldn't argue with. They spent 18 years teaching me that I was the one people blamed first. It only took 2 weeks to teach them why that was a mistake. If this story hit close to home, let me know in the comments. Would you have stayed quiet or exposed everything the moment they accused you? Subscribe for more real family betrayal and revenge stories every week.